A sign on the front door of Magenta's home.
May I help you?
My name is Detective Mosley. I'm here on police business.
Really? How interesting. Wait here. I'll inform Miss Getty. Miss Getty will see you. Right this way. Miss Getty will be down shortly.
Thank you.
What can I do for you, Detective?
Beautiful women. They must be relatives.
They are.
The only thing Gabriel's likely to burn here is his bridges. Genuine lion skin.
I can imagine doing things on that rug.
Excuse me?
Oh, nothing. Modern art?
More or less. It's a Picasso.
Harvard classics. Homer, Virgil. Maybe Malia wouldn't be impressed by a signed copy of one of Gabriel's novels. Ming Dynasty, perhaps? The side table probably costs more than Gabriel's shop.
Nice statue. I like it.
Thank you. It's The Rebellious Slave by Michelangelo.
The leather on the chair is as soft as butter. Gabriel's coat feels like rawhide in comparison. The Getty Library is as well put together as Malia herself. Classy, rich, flawless, pure cream.
Undoubtedly proof that there is a God. Mind if I ask you a few questions, Miss Getty?
I assume that's what you're here for, Detective.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? Why would you want to know about that, Detective? It's rather silly, isn't it?
There's nothing silly about the voodoo murders.
But that voodoo is faked. That's what I've read in the papers.
That's what the papers say, all right.
But you're not convinced.
No, frankly, I'm not. The police department isn't known for its imagination.
Oh? Well, I can see that your imagination is considerable.
Are you sure you can't tell me anything about voodoo?
I really don't know much about it. Isn't there some place in town that you can find out about that sort of thing? A museum or something?
I believe there is a museum.
Then maybe you should check there.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
The murders? Only what I read in the papers.
And what do you read in the papers?
I'm sure you know much more about it than I, Detective.
Tell me about your life in New Orleans.
The Getty family came to New Orleans in 1800. We worked very hard to get where we are. On the other hand, We've done a lot for this community.
I can believe that. You're doing a lot for me right now. Tell me more about New Orleans.
I'm afraid I don't get out into New Orleans society much. Because of the Getty money, we have slots in the best country clubs and on the best Mardi Gras courts. But I must admit, I hate it. I avoid actually making an appearance unless it becomes absolutely necessary.
I know about those courts. They're very exclusive.
Yes, especially when it comes to people of my race. That's why we don't turn down the appointments. It's a rare opportunity to rub their noses in it. But that's not where I spend my time. I have more important things to do with my life.
That's admirable. Many women would love the chance to get caught up in that kind of life.
I'm not any kind of woman you might be familiar with.
Yes, I can see that. Do you know anything about snakes?
I'm no expert. I don't fear them like most people do.
What do you know about Marie Laveau?
I've heard of her, of course, but that's about it.
Do you have any idea what Capri Saint-Caux means?
No, I don't. What does it mean, Detective?
That's confidential information, ma'am. Tell me about yourself.
I suppose I don't really have a choice. What do you want to know, Detective?
What kind of things interest you?
I don't have a lot of free time, but I do appreciate the arts. Opera, symphony, ballet, fine art. If you look around, you'll see that we collect African art, for example.
Yes, it's very beautiful.
It is, Detective. It means a great deal to me.
Do you have a career?
A career? Being the head of the Getty family is a 24-hour-a-day job. We have many holdings and many responsibilities, financial and otherwise. The management of our business affairs and properties leaves me with time for little else.
Poor little rich girl?
Believe it or not, Detective, wealth does have its price.
Tell me about your family.
The Gettys? We're a very private family.
How many people are there in your family?
Well, my mother just passed away.
Oh, I am sorry.
So am I. She was a magnificent woman. We were very close. I was an only child.
And your father?
I never knew him.
It's hard to believe that any man would leave a woman like you. Or like your mother must have been.
He did not leave, Detective. But that's really none of your concern.
I'm sorry. Go on.
There are, of course, other Gettys in the city. I have a large extended family.
I see. Do you have a husband, boyfriend?
I'm very independent, Detective. The women in my family have always preferred it that way.
So, you've never been married?
No, and I never will be.
What about children?
Yes, that is likely. Someday.
I'd like to hear just about anything.
I have a business degree from Vanderbilt. I wanted to study psychology, but my family's interests came first.
Oh? Why not something like law, then? Surely that would have been an asset to the family.
Law? Please. I do have some morals, Detective.
I'd like to hear just about anything.
For the record, I'm 28, Detective.
I'd like to hear just about anything.
I have few friends. A woman in my position can't really afford them.
I'd like to hear just about anything.
I try to stay away from the media as much as possible. Last year there was that story about John Jr. and our phone didn't stop ringing for weeks. I prefer to keep my private life private. I would appreciate it if you'd keep my name away from any public association with the police, Detective.
Of course. I wouldn't know where to begin.
As you wish, Detective.
Can you tell me anything about what happened out at the lake?
I wish I could. But I've never seen or heard anything unusual at the lake. And I do spend quite a bit of time out there.
This is quite a place.
Thank you. It's been in the family a long time.
Done anything exciting lately?
I'm sorry, but I'm very busy. Can we get to the point?
So what's new with you?
Nothing that would interest you, I'm sure, Detective.
Do you receive all your visitors in this library?
Usually. I feel more comfortable surrounded by things that I love.
So, you like books?
My books, my art, yes.
You know, we have a lot more in common than you might imagine.
I would love to chat about that sometime, Detective. But I'm really pressed at the moment.
Excuse me, but your eyes are really distracting. I don't think I've ever seen a color quite like that brownish gold. It's so deep and rich. Man, if I could bottle that, I'd make a fortune.
Thank you, Detective. That's an interesting observation, though probably not relevant to your case.
A good detective never knows what might be relevant, Miss Kitty.
Then you must be truly exceptional at your job.
I can't help noticing that you're in incredible shape, Miss Kitty. Your legs are so strong. Do you work out at one of the clubs by the lake?
Well, Detective, I do enjoy physical activity.
Oh, me too.
Actually, I was referring to swimming and modern dance. I can't say that I do much exercising at the lake, though.
Ah, well, it was worth asking.
I think this has gone on long enough. You're not really a detective, are you?
Who, me? Well, I am on this case, Miss Kitty.
I saw you at the lake yesterday. I thought you must be with the police since you were there, but you don't act like a police officer. Besides, I'm rather certain that the other man said his name was Mosley.
All right, you caught me. I'm not with the police. My name is Gabriel Knight. I'm a writer working with Detective Mosley on a book.
Well, Mr. Knight, now that we've established who you are, perhaps you can tell me the real reason you're here.
Well, I am researching the book, and I thought you might have seen or heard something at the lake.
I don't like liars, Mr. Knight.
Okay, you're right. I really just wanted to see you again. You can be mad at me if you want, but I swear I've never done anything like this before.
Mr. Knight, you've lied about your identity and wasted my time with meaningless questions. If it weren't vaguely flattering, I'd really be angry. You're lucky I don't call the real police. I think you should go, Mr. Knight.
Malia, wait. If you just give me a chance.
I've wasted enough time. I'll have Robert show you out. Robert? Show Mr. Knight out, please.
I most certainly will.
Thank you very much. I had a lovely time. Ah, shit.
An old man tends a cemetery with movements akin to a slow drawl.
I'm sorry to bother you.
You got something to say, son?
What can you tell me about voodoo?
They say it was part of an old religion from Africa, brought here by slaves.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
I don't really care to talk about it. I don't do it none myself.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Isn't it just awful, them finding those bodies with the voodoo things around them? I don't think there's any real voodoo going on. Somebody trying to cover their tracks is all.
What can you tell me about Gnarlings?
Seem like everyone wants to visit Narlands at least once in their lives. And they love the cemetery tours. I see tourists in here every day of the year.
What can you tell me about Gnarlings?
There are lots of things to see here, but none as beautiful as St. Louis Cemetery #1.
What do you know?
I told you all I know about that.
What can you tell me about Gnarlings?
If you want to know more, you should ask someone else.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? I see snakes around here all the time. Most of them aren't poisonous, of course. I don't mind snakes myself, but lots of folks are afraid of them.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I told you all I know about that.
Do you have any idea what Capri San Call means?
Nope, can't say that I do.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Sure. She was the voodoo queen of New Orleans, a powerful voodooian and a powerful sorceress. Believers still come to her tomb, you know. They write secret marks on the walls, leave offerings. Then there's the tourists. They come out of curiosity. As a matter of fact, that big Dr. John fella from that voodoo museum, he's here at least once a day. But Marie Laveau's tomb isn't the only one the believers visit and make markings and leave offerings at.
What else can you tell me about Marie Laveau?
Her tomb's on all our tours. Even the Baptists come round here to golf. Of course, you may not know this, but some of the real serious voodoo types argue that she ain't in this one at all. Down in the unmarked tomb in number 3. It's all the same to me, I say. Saved me a lot of cleanup work if she weren't here, if you ask me.
You said there were other marked tombs?
Yep. I've seen bull hearts left on tombs and a nest of vulture feathers, plates of peas and corn green, animal parts, human parts even, it look like. Male parts, if you get my meaning. And this is one of the great family crypts, mind you. Odd how them types just pick a spot and stick to it.
Tell me about yourself.
My name is Toussaint Gervais. I'm the watchman here at St. Louis No. 1.
What exactly do you do here?
Oh, I keep the place tidy, of course, but a big part of my job, too, is looking out for the grievers. People come to pay their respects, and they need looking out for. Sometimes they so grief-bound, they don't know what they doing.
Tell me about yourself.
That's about all there is to say.
Tell me something about St. Louis Cemetery, No. 1.
You know why the dead are buried in tombs and not in the ground, don't you? The water table's too high. Them coffins will float right out of their grave. Ha! Them dead will go floating right down into the Dakota. Of course, if it were Mardi Gras, nobody'd even notice. It's a historical place. People buried in here from the Civil War. Back further, too. Take a look around. You'll see.
Tell me something about St. Louis Cemetery, No. 1.
Just look around. You'll get the feel of the place.
What other tombs got marked? Can you show me?
No, I ain't one for naming names. I don't like to encourage that kind of thing. It's distressing to the families, and rightly so.
You been working here a long time?
Longer than you've been alive, son. I may perhaps be here longer than you'll be alive, for that matter.
Kind of a quiet job you got, isn't it?
Most of the time, yeah. They act up some at the full moon, though.
You must enjoy the company of dead folks.
Unlike the living, they ain't never given no reason to dislike them none.
How's business today?
About like every day. It's what you call a seller's market.
Near the Laveau tomb is a piece of red brick. Undoubtedly a cast-off from spiritual graffiti writers. Food, trinkets, and more unsettling things have been left at Marie Laveau's tomb as offerings from believers. New Orleans is famous for its above-ground tombs. The high water table prevents bodies from being interred underground. Vases seem to be a favorite decoration for the dead. An angel with a cross stands guard over one of the tombs. The marble denizens of the cemetery only stare back blankly. A plaque on the tomb reads, Laveau. Odd-looking marks adorn the Laveau tomb wall.
I want a copy of these strange marks.
The marks are reddish in color and remind Gabriel of crosses. They look like they've been here a few days at least. Gabriel can't take the marks with him that way. The wall doesn't work that way. The wall doesn't